Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cathy of Cathy's Cash and Coin. I'm a single mom with 3 daughters, although my oldest is now married and out of the house. My middle daughter is a college student in her 3rd year away at school. And then I have my youngest that lives here with me in our home. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this video. Today we are going over paycheck 1 of May. It is going to be another tight budget, but we are going to go ahead and dig right in. I have a lot to discuss, so it might be more of a chatty video than what I typically do, but we have got to go over quite a few things. So first of all, I get paid bi-weekly. I work for the post office. I'm a letter carrier. I've been a letter carrier for over 26 years now, so I am at the top scale of the letter carrier, the city letter carrier. So I discussed earlier in another video that letter carriers worked without a contract since 2022, and finally that was resolved recently, and this paycheck should reflect my new pay. So I actually wrote this all down because when I saw my paycheck, I was kind of like, what? It doesn't even look like I got a raise, but I will show you why that is. So my paycheck, hopefully you guys can see this. I wrote it in pen. Maybe I should have put it in marker, but I will zoom in the best I can. Paycheck number 2 of April was from 4/5 to 4/18. This was prior to the raise being implemented. My take-home pay minus everything that comes out was $2,038. Now on that check, I had 4.84 units of overtime. 84 units of overtime is about 50 minutes, so almost 5 hours of overtime, which was $262.82. That was pre-tax. Okay, so we move on to paycheck number 1 of May, which was 4/19 to 5/2. That's just the dates. It's a bit behind. Obviously, we're getting paid on the 9th, but this only goes through the 2nd. So my take-home pay was $2,045, which is only $7 more than my last paycheck. So it doesn't even look like I got a raise, but I only did 1 hour and 61 units of overtime, which is only about an hour and 36 minutes of overtime, which is time and a half. So that was $92.95 pre-tax. So if you look at paycheck 2 of April, I took home a lot more overtime, or I did a lot more overtime than I did on this first paycheck of May. So it's hard to really compare, seeing as if I didn't work this overtime, my check would have only been about $1,800. And that would have been tough. So this paycheck, I only did an hour and a half about of overtime, and I'm making the same amount of money. So there is a raise in there. It's just hard to see when you look at the take-home pay. Now, what comes out of my checks? I have my insurances. I have a health plan, a family health plan, because I have both my daughters on that plan, dental and life insurance. Then I have taxes, federal and state. I have my TSP, which is my retirement plan, my union dues. I have a TSP loan, which is $71 a paycheck. This I will talk about in my debt update. And then I have a $50 Christmas club. And then obviously Medicare, Social Security, those things come out. But these are the main things that really take a lot of that paycheck. So my paycheck is only $2,045. Okay, so we know it's take home $2,045. Now, there is an option. Like I said, I work for the post office, so I do have the option to work overtime. I work overtime on my own route, my own assignment. I work 5 days a week, and if there's overtime on my route, that's the overtime I do. So the 1 week where I did almost 5 hours, or the one paycheck was 5 hours, that was cumulative over both the weeks. And then obviously in the other 2 weeks, there wasn't much overtime on my own route. Now, there is an opportunity to get on an overtime list that is where you work overtime on other assignments, or you work your day off. Those carriers usually get maxed out at 60 hours a week. So they're working 20 hours of overtime each week. It has definitely crossed my mind to get on that overtime list. But I'm a bit older than I used to be. I was on the overtime list for 20 years of my career. It is not easy. It is a very physical job, and I don't know that I would last very long doing it. I know overtime ebbs and flows at the post office as far as, like, it depends on the mail volume. My route, on days where the mail is heavy and packages, are up, I'm going to do a little bit of overtime. And the weeks where I'm on vacation, I'm not going to get any overtime. So it's something to think about for myself. That would make a huge difference in this pay if I was on the actual overtime list, not just doing my own overtime on my route, but being available to help on other routes. So it's like I said, it's definitely something I'm thinking about, but I will have no life. Like I said, those carriers that are on that overtime list get maxed out at 60 hours a week all the time. And I don't know that I really want to be working 40 hours of overtime every 2 weeks. That's a lot. So, all right. So we're going to put $2,045. Now for debts, I am going to put some money towards debt this paycheck. Might have to revisit this. I'm going to do $125 for now. That leaves me $1,920. I want to go back up here and talk about the post office a little more. I don't know if you guys understand. The post office is not a private entity, but it is run by the federal government, right? It's a federal company. It's in the Constitution. It comes 6 days a week, but it doesn't use any tax dollars. 0 tax dollars goes to pay me. This is all from the Happy Mail I receive, from people getting P.O. boxes, people mailing things. 0 tax dollars funds the post office. So people talk about it becoming privatized, this and that. If it became privatized, this is just my little spiel for today. If it became privatized, people that live in rural communities would have to pay a lot more to get something. Somebody that lives way out on a farm, they would have to pay a surcharge to get something mailed to them. Whereas everybody pays the same rates right now. Same thing with people that live in not as great of neighborhoods. There are some neighborhoods, I know at least in the city of Chicago, that Amazon will refuse to deliver in. So the post office is the one that delivers those packages. So that wouldn't be happening if this company became privatized. So I just wanted to put that in there because people talk about it all the time, but just remember 0 tax dollars go to the post office. The post office is self-funded, and I just always think that's so interesting. We're going to get more into that when I get to some of my bills because, yeah. Okay, so we're going to go to mortgage and HOA, and I always put half of my mortgage and half of my HOA aside each paycheck so that I have the full amount for. So this will be for June's paycheck or June's payment. So we do $1,118 each paycheck. And this mortgage includes my escrow, which is my home insurance, and my taxes, my real estate taxes, and then my HOA. All right, moving on to subscriptions. This paycheck is $46. Phones. I did want to talk about these phones. Now, my phone plan, I did change. I was so excited about it because I wrote it down. I wrote this down too. So hopefully you can see this. Last month, my bill was $275. Now this month it's $258, but 40 of that is something that won't be on it next month. It was like prorated. So we're going to bring that down to $218. And then I did decide to do the auto draft, which is going to save me $5 per line. I have 6 lines on this phone plan. It's going to get my bill down to $188. So it's not showing up this month, but next month I'm so excited to see how low this bill will be. Like I said, my daughter pays her portion of it. So this is already taking her portion of it out. If I got my bill under $200, I would be so grateful. So speaking of the auto draft, I have always been hesitant of auto draft because, number one, I work for the post office, so I do like to get a bill in the mail, and I like to mail my bill at my payment out. But it was worth the savings, $30 of savings every month for me to do it. I think about what what the post office provides to me. I get 5 weeks and 1 day vacation a year. I get 4 hours of sick leave every paycheck, which is about 8 hours a day a month of sick leave, and it just keeps accumulating. The matching on my benefits as far as retirement, we get 11 paid holidays a year. I have great a great job, great benefits. I'm not complaining. I'm super grateful. So this was hard for me to do because I don't like to do that. Same thing with my wife. So the phones we will write down this month. It is still going to be $258, but like I said, next month it should go down. It's still cheaper than last month, not by much, but it is. Wi-Fi last month was $131. It is now going to be $100. But I also had to do the same thing there. Let me tell you, I spent so much time between my phone plan, between my Wi-Fi plan, between all my creditors. I have spent hours and hours and hours on the phone with these companies in the last few weeks. I can see why people just don't bother because it takes so much time. Now with my Wi-Fi, when I first called, they didn't have any options available for me to lower the rate. I looked around and called around to all the different companies that say they have home Wi-Fi. They do not have it in my area. When I lived closer to the city before we moved out here, every single cell phone company, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, they were all options in home Wi-Fi. Out here, there's only basically one. They're trying to get in. All they have, the phone companies only have the Wi-Fi towers, just like you use your cell phone as Wi-Fi. It would kind of be the same in the home, and I don't like that option. One, because of my YouTube channel, but two, because on days where Helena's home or Audie's here, Audie sometimes has online school, especially if the weather's bad, they'll just do online school. I don't want any problems with getting on. So I'm sticking with the company. That's the only option here right now. But once Verizon or T-Mobile or AT&T, whoever can figure out how to get in the actual lines out here, I will be switching because I know there's going to be savings there. Okay, that's a lot. All right, gas for my home. I haven't gotten this bill yet, but I'm expecting it to only be about $60. We have not had the heat on much at all. And then gas for my car. I am on vacation next week because my mom's going to be in town. She's coming in for Mother's Day this weekend, and then she'll be in town all next week. So I took the week off to be with her. So I don't think we'll be driving much. I don't have to drive all the way to work and back, so this should be okay. And then water is usually about $65. All right. So we had $19.20 left. Let's see where this leaves us. $16.77. Oh boy. And then we are taking that from the $19.20. That leaves us $243. That's not very much. $243. Okay. All righty. We are going to go up here. I want to talk about food for a minute. So I am been doing really good with the $100 every 2 weeks. I don't know how, but we are surviving off of $50. So this paycheck, I'm actually going to do $50, and I will show you why. I got this reward, a $75 debit card, by doing a survey. It was mailed to me. If you get surveys in the mail, especially ones that say first class mail, Nielsen is the main one that sends physical money in their envelopes, and it will be a first class letter. Don't throw it away. Open it up. Take the cash out at the very least, even if you don't do the survey. But this was a different one. It came as like a postcard, and it was called, I think, My Travel Survey or something. And all I had to do was to put in how many miles I drove, from what zip code, and not even exact address. It was from what zip code to what zip code, how many miles it was, and how many stops I made on the way. It was so easy, and they sent me a $75 gift card. So the 75 plus 50, that actually gives us $125 for the next couple weeks. And like I said, my mom's going to be here, and I think we'll be all right because we'll be doing a lot of cooking, and I think that's it. That is going to be it for my wallet. We're just putting $50 in there. Yep. And 50 minus 243 is 193, right? I think so. Yeah, 193. Okay, so we are going on to my main binder. My main binder that I'm working on and making sure to get funded every single paycheck is my dated binder, because all of these things come up and have to be covered. So my landscaper is $90 a month. We're only starting at $45 because I did pay him $45 for April. He came once. So we are going to add another $45 and we will have another 2 times payment for him. Garbage is over $200 a quarter now, so we budget $35 a paycheck. Butcher box, we're gonna add $25, and I do split this with my sister now, which is really nice. Grove, we do $10 a paycheck, and Grove is where I get pretty much all my cleaning supplies, hand lotion, hand soap, body soap, cleaning sprays, air fresheners, candles. I get outdoor mosquito candles, and it's just a cleaner product, safer for my family, for my pets, things like that. I like it. I'm only paying $20 a month to get all of the things that I get. Rarely do I have to buy anything as far as cleaning products at the store, so I like it. All right, moving on to MK. This is for my skincare needs. I think this is what, $13 a paycheck? Yeah, $13 a paycheck. Car tags is $7 a paycheck, and that is not due till February. Now, Microsoft has $0 in it. Look at the amount. If you guys can see, I did use the student discount, and it saved me 50% on this. So this other 75, we had 150 in there. It was fully funded. I will be stuffing in other categories. Now, I could just leave it in here for next year, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to move it around into other sinking funds, and we are going to start saving, I think, $3 a paycheck just for now. When it gets closer, we'll reevaluate, make sure we're going to get the 75 for next year in May. But thank you so much to everybody who told me to make sure to check into that. Amazon Prime is another one I will check into right now. We are still going to fully fund it to $140 for August, and then we will see what happens. All right, school fees are $21 a paycheck, and that is for autumn, for 8th grade fees, graduation fees, anything for that. Swim fees, this is for fall winter swim. We're going to put $19 in there. ID theft protection is $7 a paycheck. And finally, Carb Manager, we're just going to do $1. This is really only like $36 for the year. It's an app I like to use, so we're going to go with $1. And let's see, what did we have left? We had $193 left. I think we're going to be okay because it used to be less than that, I think, or no. Well, we will see. Let's see. $192. Oh, no. That's right. I didn't want to put anything in here. I want to put nothing. Although we're only $1 off, we're going to put nothing in here. So 192 minus 3. So we're going to be at 189. Microsoft, we will start funding in June. I don't usually fund it the month that it's paid or due. So we're going to start that in June. So we're not going to put anything in Microsoft. So we're going to be at 189. Okay, so the dated binder is going to be at 189, which means we have $4. Oh my gosh, we have $4. I'm tempted to put it up here at my wallet, but I'm actually going to put it in the revolving binder somewhere in there, or the long term. Well, one of them. You'll see when I do my paycheck stuffing long term savings. Harry Potter and New Home, we're not getting anything. 189 plus 4 is 193, which leaves us 0 remaining, and that is it, you guys. So paycheck 1 of May wasn't as large as I would have liked it to be, but considering I did really an hour and a half of overtime versus 4 to 5, 6 hours that I usually have, it was okay. I'm still putting 125 to debt. I thought maybe we were going to have to go back and adjust that, so I'm happy about that. My phone plan will be going down next month. I am so looking forward to seeing it under $200 for the first time in a very long time. We're making progress, little progress. Like I said, I will have my debt update posted by the end of May. I I think that's it. I need to go and get the cash and do the cash stuffing. I wish you all a very happy Mother's Day this weekend. I do plan to post my savings challenge video on Mother's Day, but I understand if people miss it because it's Mother's Day. And to all the mothers out there, the sisters, the wives, the aunties, the godmothers, grandmothers, everyone, thank you for all you do. Know that you are loved, and I appreciate you, and I know all of them, those in your lives, appreciate you as well. Sunday is also my sister's birthday, so my parents are coming in. I'm super excited, so I'm trying to hurry up and get these videos posted and edited and all that good stuff so you guys can see them. That is it. You guys take care. Have a blessed day.